So you've learned a lot about logo design in this class. You've learned a lot about logo design theory and the process. Now, how do we find clients? I wanted to spend the next couple lessons talking about your portfolio, building maybe a proper portfolio for presentation to win over clients, and also kind of just some ideas and places where you can start finding those clients. And I have a great downloadable resource called the Finding Clients Guide. I have it as a JPEG. I also have it as a PDF, so you can go ahead and download that and have that available. We're going to be looking at that throughout this lesson. And we're going to start with stage 1. So stage 1 is building your top 3 projects list. So hopefully with a couple of the student projects you complete in the class, you'll be able to start building those top 3, the best projects that you have. Let's say you have 20 different logos. You pick those top 3 that you really, really want to put your best foot forward and present on your portfolio. And if you don't have those, this is the time to do those student projects or do your own type of projects to try to get some of those ready. And remember, your top 3 project choices can change as your skill sets improve and your logo designs improve. And your top 3 projects should represent the type of work you're most interested in doing and receiving for paid work. I have a lot of students who are very talented and they have photography and they have all these other things on their websites. When it comes to getting a logo design client or a branding client or a graphic design client, it's really nice to kind of put those on the back burner, still have a link to them, but not make it super obvious, maybe down lower on the page, somewhere different on your portfolio. We really want to get right to the point in terms of offering those logo design projects right away and also a way to contact you. So now that you have plenty of work, you have 3 awesome projects, you're ready for stage 2, which is putting that together and presenting it in a killer portfolio or a website. For the second stage, I want to move over to this web mock-up that I developed in Adobe XD, which is a great kind of web design tool that I've been really mastering lately, and I've really enjoyed it. I was able to kind of mock up this portfolio to kind of give you a good idea of what I like to see. I've had the pleasure of hiring several different designers throughout my career to help me with larger client projects. I've also hired being an art director as well. So I've had a lot of experience looking and finding other graphic designers and other logo designers. And so when I have a feeling when I go on their website right away what I like to see. And it's a very simple portfolio and it's a very targeted portfolio. It's just for graphic design. You're not seeing the photography. You're not seeing all this other stuff unless, of course, it relates back to the kind of projects you're doing. So here's kind of a simple video reel. You can have this kind of what we did before. We're kind of showing some animation. You're showing how you're using the golden ratio in your logo designs or how you use the grid and have a little animation to that, kind of a really nice branded presentation for your logos. You don't have to have a video reel. If you don't feel like you're comfortable with video editing, that's fine. But it's really nice to kind of have that intro. I'm getting right to your work. As soon as I can start seeing your best work right away in a clear and concise way, the better chance I'm going to stay on your website. If I go on there and I'm seeing a bunch of unrelated things, I'm out of there. I have hundreds of different designers to look at. I don't have a whole lot of time. You've got to grab me. And so video is a great way to grab people. Also down here I have the 3 case studies. Doesn't mean you're stuck at 3. If you have a 4th really amazing project, feel free to add it, but I just think 3 keeps it nice and concise. I get overwhelmed all the time. I think that's the biggest problem with most portfolios is they put way too many options and they have all these amazing projects, but I'm overwhelmed as someone who's a recruiter or someone who's in charge of hiring you because I just got so much to work through. If you give me 3 of your best examples, a wide variety of different examples, I think it works a lot better here. And what is really great is you can focus on a case study. I'll spend a lot more time. I'm going to go ahead and click on this one. You're going to be able to spend a lot more time honing in and letting them know your process and your strategy, and a little less, here's just my logo design. Does it look cool? You really want to show them the reasons why you chose the logo, your brainstorming process. It goes a long way in showing them that you really understand the logo design process in full and how it relates back to marketing and the bigger business idea. So here's kind of just a simple way. I just kind of showed a horizontal and vertical presentation. You can show kind of the logo application on t-shirts and mugs and anything that relates back to the industry you're designing for. And just kind of showing that brainstorming process really helps, showing your sketches, showing how you kind of put pen to paper, and if you didn't do that, maybe how how you kind of worked out the exact symbol. It kind of shows more of a depth to your design process as well. And also showing, color palette inspiration and kind of why did you pick the colors that are related to the logo. And you can even keep going further if you use the golden ratio. You want to talk about that. You can keep going. You don't want to be too long, but you want to kind of present each of your 3 top projects in a really nice detailed way. So I'm going to go back to the main website. So once again, just keeping it simple, just honing in, having a very targeted portfolio. This may mean you need to have a couple different portfolios, maybe one that grabs logo design clients and maybe another one that is for your photography business. So kind of keeping those separate. You can also have links at the bottom that goes to your photography websites and kind of lets you know that you're you do other things. But for, trying to find a specific client, you need to focus on just those projects that they're going to be interested in, and that's going to be logo design branding projects. So you have your portfolio ready to go. It looks polished. It's ready to be sent out to the world. Now you're ready for stage 3, which is trying out spec or free low-cost work. So spec work, or working on a project before getting paid, if at all in this case, is one way to improve and fill your portfolio with real client projects. And I highly encourage you to seek out spec work that is non-profit based, so you can help others in need but also build your portfolio. Spec work should only be done for fun and for practice. I repeat, fun and for practice. I encourage my students to pursue spec or fee-free work only if a project will be enjoyable and fulfilling and can be added to your portfolio in a positive way or open up new connections for you. And that's why seeking out local nonprofit companies in your area might work. You can ask them to see if they need any graphic design work, and after agreed upon the time limit of working at these low or free rates, you can work out a situation where you can do future work or have a fixed higher reasonable rate for them if they like your work. So I've listed websites in the guide of kind of some different main ones to check out. These are the bigger ones, not all the smaller ones, but 99designs.com and designcrowd.com, where you can enter into contests. You don't always get paid. It's really rare when you win, but that's okay. You can still win, and you get a little bit of practice. But I have a warning. I believe designers should be fairly compensated for their work when they reach a certain skill level. And I only recommend the websites above for those in the very beginning of their graphic design learning journey, and I don't recommend it for following these websites for long-term client work or income. So if you're ready to move or skip past that stage 3, I don't blame you. Not everybody wants to work for free all the time, and let's say you already have a very great portfolio. Let's get you listed on some paid, popular freelance websites. A couple of those are, you probably heard of some of these, Upwork.com, Freelancer.com, there's Guru.com, there's Toptal.com. There's a lot of different ones out there. I just listed the big ones. Several of these can lead to higher paying projects if your portfolio is strong enough to withstand the very strong competition in this area of design. And building a profile on a few of these websites could land you a small project or a gig. It could also lead to further work if your rating is high from your first job. Ratings are everything on these websites, and keeping it high and keeping clients pleased is the way to get continued project leads. It is hard to get started, as most jobs will go to those freelancers with previous projects and high reviews. Standing out with that great portfolio will be the key to landing that first project without having a prior client review. And that's why stage 1 and stage 2 are so important and are the first in the process. It is still hard to make progress on some of these online websites. I have a lot of students who struggle. Step 5 has been the most successful step for me as a freelancer for the last 14 and 15 years, as it depends heavily on local in-person networking. So stage 5, my favorite and most recommended step in finding clients is connecting with local small or medium-sized business owners. And you can do this online by finding local Facebook business groups as well. You could do this in person by connecting with your Chamber of Commerce or a local small business body or group or gathering, serving on the board of directors and volunteering for a local nonprofit to make connections works too. Asking to speak or teach at a local small business seminar or workshop about marketing, branding, logo design, anything you're wanting to sell. It may sound old school, but visiting local businesses with a business card in hand can help you land those first few clients. Great clients tend to refer you to other clients, and local ones tend to do that more because of the personal relationship you build with them. I listed a couple places where I have found clients before. There's meetup.com, which is a great place to find those small business owners. LinkedIn as well, where you can kind of invite that person to coffee. Facebook.com has some great groups. If you look and you search in the group section, you can find local groups within your city or area within a 50-mile radius or 50-kilometer radius. Your local chamber of commerce or any kind of government body that helps out business owners or that are going to have business owners gather. There's also serving and volunteering capacities and volunteering at local places. You can meet a lot of different people that way in the community. And also connecting with those who also need your skills. So I connected early on in my career with a web developer. He didn't know anything about design. He was a horrible designer, but he was a fantastic coder. He could put together websites brilliantly. So what I did is I connected with him and found him online on a forum, a web developer forum, and we connected and we started sending clients to each other. So I would do the design side of the website and he would do the back end. And it ended up being a great relationship, and the client I got through him referred me to another client. And so that's where a lot of this comes to the very last step, which is a little arrow that points up and this says client referrals. Once you get a great client, especially if you're getting a local client, you'll be able to get those client referrals if they really love your work. And you don't have to sit there searching for clients over and over. After a year or two of finding clients and getting this referral system going where clients refer you to another client, you end up having kind of a system where you just wait and work kind of comes to you after you kind of build that client base that continues to refer you, because your client base is growing and then your possible referrals are growing as well. So I'd say the last 8 or 9 years of my 15-year design career, I didn't seek out work. Work kind of came my way. And so don't feel like you have to sit there and try to find work this hard for your whole career. If that was the case, a lot of us would have given up a long time ago. So make sure you download the guide and take a read over it. This lesson, of course, went over most of it, but it has some great connections and some great websites you can check out. Hopefully you've enjoyed this course and this little extra part of this course of finding clients. I hope to add more lessons. Just let me know kind of what you feel like you want to know a little bit more about. We talked a little bit about portfolio building. We talked a little bit about finding clients. But if there's something missing that you're like, man, I really wish she would go over this or add this, please let me know. Private message me, say, hey, I think adding this to the course would really make it a better course or really kind of help answer a question I had. I'd love to be open to student discussions and student feedback.